Hello, everyone. You might be able to hear the fan in the background. But it's really hot, so. Let me see. Hopefully that's not too distracting. I mean, ideally, I would have a quieter fan, but I don't. Maybe it's like the rest of my house, too. Where's that, like, sound coming from? Weird. Okay, I'm actually gonna go close my door. Hold on. Alright, I've decided to close my door. And you can still hear that background noise, huh? I guess I never noticed it over like game audio or music. Let me turn this on. Ugh, everything is so loud. I really should get a sound box. Alright. Well, it is what it is. But, anyways, hi everyone. My name's Zen. And we're gonna be continuing the drawing stream that I was doing before. And where we're drawing streamers. Hopefully that's not too loud. I'll probably look back on that later. This time I tried to prepare some sketches instead of just kind of leaving it all to just doing it all on stream, just because last time I did that I took forever. So I think this might be better. Let me pull up a reference. But, yeah, so if you've seen my stream title, I have some stuff to say about Adobe, because, on God, I'm just sick of their shit at this point. God, these headphones are so loud. I actually should have just put on my normal ones. Actually do that. Alright, that's better. I have two sets of headphones, the ones that I just use casually and the ones that I actually use with my streaming setup. The ones I use with my streaming setup actually have a volume control on the side that I can use to adjust the volume for me in case it's too loud, but without messing with too many settings on my computer. But yes, if you've seen the title of the stream, it's because I have some words to say about Adobe. Those being that I'm sick of their shit. So, if I'm being honest, the only reason I had Adobe even for a little while was because I was taking a class, some like digital art class, where I was basically learning to use different Adobe products. And so the teacher was saying like, oh, it's mandatory, you have to have the Adobe product, like, because we're only going to be using this, like, it's got to be the most recent version, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, like, I don't really care that much. It's not a huge deal. That being said, I thought I had gotten the monthly subscription of the student version. Now the monthly version of the student version is honestly not that great, because it's like what, $20 a month, I think. That's pretty steep for like an Adobe subscription, for not just an Adobe subscription, for any subscription really. And so I was not pleased, to say the least. But whatever, okay? Like I'll deal. Would this be better like over here? Yeah, maybe that looks better. Ever tried messing with my my text box before? I know some people like to put it above their head. I'll do that. I think it looks better. Move this here. There we go. Okay. Anyways, yes. So Adobe, like, because the way that Adobe works, if you didn't know, I think most people know this, like, if you've ever tried to use anything Adobe, the way that Adobe works is that they make you pay, like, the for the entire package. You can't just buy the singular products. So it's like, you want to just use Photoshop? Well, too bad. You gotta pay a subscription to use all of everything that's associated in the Creative Cloud, which, fine, I guess. I think it's worth it if, like, let's say, you're going to be using a lot of those products, like some combination of Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects for your work. I could kind of see the appeal there. Even then, it's kind of a poor reason to make you pay so much money to use all the products when all I really wanted was one. At least one at a time, because I did have to use multiple for that course. But I really, like, discovered how BS their company, like, whatever was, when I was trying to cancel my subscription, because classes are going to be over for me soon. Like, I think next week is, like, the last week until winter break. And I was like, okay, tight. Now I can get rid of my subscription because I don't want it anymore, because it sucks. I don't want to use it. If I had known that we'd be learning to use the Adobe products, I probably wouldn't have taken the class, because I hate Adobe. But then, at some point of me, like, subscribing to them, I found out that actually, I hadn't been paying for the monthly, like, month by month, like I thought. I was actually paying for the annual subscription, but I was paying month by month, which, first of all, stupid to call it that, Like, oh, okay, so it's an annual subscription, but you pay month by month? Like, why? What is the point of even it being like a monthly payment thing? Like, is it like an affordable thing? I don't know. But somehow I hadn't noticed that that was the subscription I paid for, because they tell you, oh, you pay month by month this much, but they don't tell you anywhere that it's an annual subscription. So when I initially subscribed to it, I was like, oh, yes, this is the monthly subscription, because I only want it for a couple months and then I'm going to stop using it. I did not see that it was an annual subscription. So when I tried to cancel it, they tried to make me cough up the rest of the annual cost, saying, well, since you're canceling early and you haven't paid for a year yet, you need to give us, like, the rest of the money, which is, like, 70 something, like, almost $80. Because you're actually paying for the annual, like, subscription of it. You're not paying for the monthly, so you have to pay for the monthly. Or not monthly, you have to pay for the annual. Which, I was like, what the hell, actually? Like, what the fuck? Because what is the point? What is the difference even between the annual and monthly subscription? There's no difference. Because they do have a monthly subscription, but it looks like they hide it from you or something. Because I could not find it. Or I didn't find it when I initially was signing up for their dumb freaking Creative Cloud. So I think that Adobe sucks and nobody should ever use it, like, unless you really have to, and only then. I wouldn't even pay for it. I don't think it's a product worth paying for, because I think it's outrageous that they would do something so, like, underhanded as to be like, well, yes, like, you pay month by month, but actually it's an annual subscription, and because it's an annual subscription, if you cancel early, that means that we have the right, contractual right, to demand the rest of the money from you. I think that is outrageous. That is, like, a very, very, like, underhanded tactic that preys off of people who, like, weren't very smart, which is me. Like, I wasn't very smart. I did not know that that was an annual subscription. So I ended up in this situation where it wanted me to pay, like, almost $80 to make up the rest of the annual subscription. Luckily, I was able to figure out a way to get around that, which is that they have a refund policy for the first 14 days where you get your money, like, back. And so I just switched, and it doesn't cost anything to switch your plan. So I just ended up switching to a different plan, like, really cheap one for, like, 3 photo apps I didn't really care about, and then immediately canceling. So I'm going to get my refunded money for that, and I basically canceled for free. But it means that I lost immediate access to the programs that I was using. But anyways, I just realized the desktop audio was muted. Let me actually fix that. I hadn't realized it was the desktop audio was muted. There we go. I was playing music, that's why. But yeah, so essentially, hey Vivi, can you tell me if you can hear the desktop audio? You should hear, like, quiet music, I guess, in the background. And if you think I need to turn it up. It shouldn't be too loud, because I don't want to get, like, copyright restricted too hard. And as long as I'm talking, I think, over it, I think it should be fine. So tell me what the audio is like. Because I'm not sure what it's like on stream. But anyways. Yeah, I can hear it a little bit. Let me see. Is that a little better? Can you hear a little better? But it's not too loud. Is that better? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I can't tell, like, because I'd have to, like, I don't have my stream manager open right now. Yeah, so I'm pretty sick of Adobe. I think that their policies are shit, and it's kind of the thing where it's exactly the kind of underhanded tactic that I would expect a company like Adobe to use. I just am so pissed that, like, I'm partially pissed that they got me with it, because, yeah, I'm the stupid person that, like, didn't realize that I was subscribed to the, annual subscription. Like, I probably should have, like, you know, figured that out before I, like, subscribed to them. But At the time, I was already behind on classes because I needed that for class, and I signed up for the class pretty late, so I was like behind a week. So I like was behind on schoolwork, which is why I was like, oh shit, like I just need to sign up for it now. Like, you know, I guess I just didn't take the time to like read the terms and conditions. But also because I didn't realize that Adobe would do that. Like, why would it tell me that it's a monthly subscription where I pay month by month if it's actually an annual subscription? I just didn't realize they would do something like that. But now I know, and now I know to tell everybody that Adobe sucks and you should never use it. And I think that you should only use, like, apps that you actually own. Like, for example, Procreate has that new animation apps. Use that instead of, like, After Effects. Because, honestly, After Effects kind of sucks. Like, I'm sure it works for some people. And if you can learn how to use it, I'm sure it's great. But it's just, the UI is just not very intuitive on it. Like, I was really struggling to make anything in that, like, in that app, just because they don't really explain things very well. And, like, honestly, I just felt like I spent more time trying to figure out how to use it than I did actually, like, making any animation in it. But that's my piece on Adobe. It will never, ever, ever be a product that I recommend to anybody. Like, if you have to use it, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's become an industry standard, because I don't think it should be. I think it's awful. I will never, ever, ever think that any of their products are good unless, like, they decide to cut this shit out and, like, sell the apps individually and not have it be a subscription service. And I'm just basically gonna shit-talk them for the rest of my life. There's nothing redeemable about Adobe, and yes, it is always morally correct to pirate from Adobe. Let's see. I want it to be, like, nice and fluffy, like how the design is. It's pretty hot today, which is why I have my fan going, because I didn't originally want to have background sound, but man, I think I would just evaporate in my chair if I like didn't have the fans going. I think, like, after we had a bit of rain last week and it was actually pretty cold, they really just went like, and now reverse Uno card. Now it's gonna be really hot. Oh, excuse me. So I have to deal with that. It's the one thing about streaming that I kind of dislike. It gets pretty hot in here, but I have to close my door because I don't have a sound box or anything to shut out outside sound. Also because since I share the house with other people, I have to let them know that they can't just barge in and start, like, you know, sharing our entire street address or something. So I have a sign on my door that says, like, hey, I'm live. If you're gonna come in, please, like, you know, don't say anything or give me some warning so I can mute my mic first. The joys of living with other people. But, I mean, who can own their own house in this economy, am I right, fellas? But I was hoping that it would be cooler by now, because it's, like, December already. And although I do live in, like, a tropical area, it usually cools down by, like, December a bit more. I was given false hope because last week it was, like, a little cooler, but I don't think my dreams of, like, a wet but cold, like, winter will come true. It's probably gonna be just as hot, honestly, if not more because of the humidity. Wah wah, it is what it is. I can still hold out hope for next month at least. If it can be cooler in January, then I won't complain as much, because actually I might stream more often if it just didn't get so gosh dang, like, hot in here. Let me see. I realize that I don't really draw bears that often. Actually, like, drawing this right now. I'm trying to do, like, the outline, and I'm suddenly realizing, like, how little I think I've drawn bears. I don't know, like, I understand the basic structure, I guess, but I just don't think it's ever been something I've been in a position to draw. I've always been more partial towards, like, I guess, like, cats, dogs, birds. The animal that I had an obsession with for a while was wolves. I just thought that wolves were the shit. Like any good white boy. Any good white boy likes his wolves. Except I was, like, slightly more in the, like, angsty wolf phase. I don't know what you would call that. Like, I guess, like, kind of like a cross between, like, the werewolf, like, phase and also, like, emo cat phase. Oh, I had one of those, too. I was just super into, like, the whole, like, emo, like, warrior cat thing. Which is objectively really funny because, I went down the deep dive of, like, looking at warrior cat animations again and kind of, like, thinking to myself, like, man, it's actually really good. Like, warrior cat animators are built different. Some of their, like, work is, like, super quality. I think Tiger Star's, like, death is, like, one of those iconic ones that people, like, will point out just because the sheer quality of that work is actually quite good. Okay, so I don't usually do, like, this sort of round, facial, like, fur style. I think I've always been, like, more partial to the, like, pointier one, so I'm trying to make the rounded style, like, a bit more, just because it, like, matches. Oh, okay, that works. But yeah, I went on so I did my Adobe rant. Hopefully I don't actually, like, I didn't need any of those apps to do any work for next week. I think if I do, or it turns out that I did, I'm just going to, like, go to the college campus and see if I can, like, use it on their computers, because I am not, like, resubscribing to that. I actually rather would, like, get put down. I am done with Adobe. We are broken up. I'm never going back. Not ever. And it's not until they change their shitty ass, like, ways and, like, what I even consider, re-downloading it. Which they probably won't, considering the fact that, they're, like, a company that thrives off of taking advantage of people. But it is what it is. Yes, Agent, they will not change their ways. Like, I cannot imagine that they would do anything that doesn't make them, like, heaps amount of money. And if exploiting, like, stupid people who don't know how to, like, read the contract makes them money, then of course they're going to keep doing it. Which is the sad reality of most companies. That's why it is always morally correct to pirate. Actually, speaking of that, I actually had a student, so I think I mentioned this a couple times, but, like, in my line of work, I work with college students with their, like, papers and such, and I provide feedback and everything if they need help with their English homework. And there is a student who was repeatedly coming back to me who, like, he was writing a paper on, like, the benefits of, like, pirating, I think, like, films and games, and why he thinks that you should do it. And, like, opinion-wise, I was like, okay, yes, you know, like, I think that you should be allowed to pirate stuff. But also, I was like, I don't know that this is a good subject to write about for a paper for a college. Like, I don't know, I feel like the college would be, like, against, you know, that kind of thing, you know? But, I mean, I guess his teacher didn't say anything about it, so I was like, I mean, cool, like, tight, I guess. Like, if your teacher said that's fine, then go for it. And, like, I gave him some ideas on, like, topics that he could incorporate into the paper, you know, to, like, support his argument, just like any regular, college paper. And, like, I haven't checked up on it since then because he hasn't booked an appointment, but last time I saw it was coming along nicely. I think he has a good idea of, like, what he wants to write about and, like, how he's going to support that with evidence. Which, like, you know, good for him. I've been reading a lot of, like, papers along those lines of, like, the argumentative type. Usually by the end of the year is when the teachers start, like, introducing those type of essays into their curriculum. Presumably because those types of essays take a bit more, like higher level thinking to be able to complete. It's the sort of argumentative essays that require that level of, like, critical thinking, where you have to, like, formulate an argument, be able to defend it, all that good stuff. Which, let me tell you, has been in pretty short supply as of late. If there's one thing that, like, God, there's a lot of things, but, like, if there's one thing in particular that I think, you know, if I'm gonna play the role of, like, the crotchety old man and be like, this is what's wrong with today's youth of today, I think that, there's a critical lack of, like, critical thinking in, like, a lot of the way that a lot of people engage with media these days, which makes me sad because as, like, somebody who, like, basically has a future career that partially involves being able to meaningfully interact with media in a way where I'm critically, like, thinking about the subject matter and, like, understanding how it's important and such. It's very sad to think and see that people have seemed to apparently lost the ability to kind of, like, engage with media in a way that is, like, constructive and, like, they're actually taking things into account rather than just making snap judgment on the media itself. It's kind of like when people got mad at, like, the content of, like, To Kill a Mockingbird. And it's like, yes, a lot of the stuff that they do in it is not okay, but that's not supposed to be the lesson that you take away from it. That, like, oh, well, saying these words about people of color is bad. Like, yes, everybody knows that. The thing that you should be taking away is the type of, like, is the lessons about misinterpreting, the mirrored lesson of, like, just misunderstanding people and, like, jumping to conclusions to them just because of what you think you know about them. Which is, like, a couple of things that kind of get covered in the, frequently covered in the book, both by the children and both by Atticus. Like, nobody said that, like, any of the characters was displaying, like, behaviors that you need to model after. Not every protagonist needs to be a role model, and not every book needs to be a lesson of this is how you should act. Sometimes it's a lesson on this is how you shouldn't act, or this is, like, you should, like, think more about your actions and how they reflect onto other people. Because, like, that's a common thing that happens with, let me think, like, I think the most common example that you see a lot are, like, the type of people who seem to misunderstand the point of, like, why characters are the way that they are. Like, here's something topical. Scott Pilgrim, the recent Scott Pilgrim series. Scott Pilgrim is not supposed to be an idea of, like, yes, and this is how you as a man should behave. It's like, no. He's a little, like, pathetic wet noodle man. Like, he's just, like, he's kind of a bad person. Just openly is a bad person. And, like, you shouldn't, like, be seeing his behavior and then being like, yes. And now I will use him to excuse my own behavior because he's, like, my super cool role model and means it's okay to act like this. It's like, no, it's not. It's not okay to act like that. The whole thing is you're supposed to, like, look at him and be like, whoa, okay, this guy's kind of a jackass. Like, but unfortunately, he if he wasn't a jackass, like, the story wouldn't be what it is. Like, characters who are completely normal and well-adjusted do not typically end up as the center point of, like, major plot points. It's just kind of how things work. Like, the whole point of the fact that he was even, like, getting with, like, Ramona was the whole, like, crux that kind of led to the whole, like, oh, now you have to fight my evil exes. And, like, without that, if he just was a normal-ass person and, like, dated, like, somebody, like, appropriate for himself, who was, like, adjusted, then it's like, okay, they could still get into a situation, but it wouldn't be the same story. Like, the whole purpose of Scott kind of being, like, a jackass is because he's supposed to start off as kind of, like, not a great guy, and then he eventually learns his lesson over time. Oh, excuse me. But that's all par for the course, and that's not to say that all people misunderstand common literature and TV shows and film. I just feel like it's been happening a lot more recently, and that's kind of what alarms me, because as somebody who creates content, it's scary to think that, like, I could put something out there and it could just be, like, horribly, like, misrepresented. But I also recognize that, like, when, you know, putting anything out there involves a level of, like, risk, and that if you never do accept that risk, that, like, something that you made might be misinterpreted, then, like, you'll just never put anything out there. And that's, like, that's not better than, like, never having your stuff misinterpreted. It is a still pretty hard pill to swallow, and even I, like, will struggle with that. I often don't put myself out there, put my work out there, because of the fear of, like, okay, but what if people don't understand exactly what I mean, and then I get misunderstood, and that just kind of, like, ruins the way that people engage with my, like, media. There's an episode of Bluey where Bandit, the dad, says something to the effect of, when you put something out there, it stops really being yours. And I think about that a lot, just because he has a point. Like, it does suck when something you made, like, gets destroyed or, like, gets kind of, like, taken apart in a way by others. But also, like, if it brought you joy for the small amount of time that it was out there, and you can find people who, like, who do, like, agree with your ideas and such, then it's not all bad. It's not it's not always, like, an easy thing to do, and like I said, I still struggle with doing that, since a lot of the time, like, in my head, I'll just be like, oh, it's better just to keep everything to myself than share it, because, like, unless I'm perfectly understood, then, like, I don't want anybody to, like, engage with anything I make. It's always easier said than done. I'm hoping that I eventually reach a point where I feel more comfortable to, like, put my ideas out there and, like, be able to do it for me and not so much other people, because I recognize that I do kind of have this self-servicing thing where I will often do things for other people rather than myself. It's kind of too fluffy. I think I need to get rid of some of these, like, lines. Let's get rid of, like, these ones. I think there's no need to be so many. There we go. Smooth it out a bit, since there's, like, a good amount of fluff, like, everywhere else. Should I kind of, like, make it like this? Maybe I'll do that. It kind of looks like a different character if it's, like, too fluffy on the head. Let's just do a little bit here. There we go. I think it's better. Oh, it's already getting so hot in here. My body temperature is rising. If I can finish this before I overheat, that would be perfect. But we shall see, because I'm already pretty toasty. It's only been like, I think a couple minutes, like maybe 20 minutes or something. Let me crack open a cold one. That was probably so loud. I'm sorry. Oh. It's not alcohol. I should say that. I don't drink. Cold one cracked. As the vampires say, let's crack open a boy with the cold ones. I just pretend everything I do is a gift to myself. Wise words to live by. I think the reason I struggle with it so much is because, like, part of my whole deal is that I kind of, like, the reason I do things for other people is because I guess, like, it brings me joy to make other people, like, to make something that I think other people would like. Which is why, like, I'll tend to cater, like, out of instinct, I will cater to other people with, like, the stuff I make. Which, that's not to say that I didn't enjoy making something, but it just seems to happen a lot, where I tend to do things, like, and be interested, or have a vested interest in making it something that other people will like. Because, I want it to bring joy to other people, and that in itself will also make me happy. It is a pretty fleeting thing, and it traps me in, like, a cycle of, like, constantly, like, needing or wanting to create as a result. Which is difficult, and it can be hard to know where to draw the line. But I do think that that's why, like, a lot of my stuff, it tends to end up catering to other people, just because, like, I always want to bring joy to other people in the way, in some kind of way. Because I think it's that connection, just, like, forming that connection with somebody. I like this thing, you like this thing. That is what I value the most, like, in my interactions with other people. I always want my interactions with other people to be, like, meaningful, or, like, for us to have some kind of, like, connection between us. Which does make doing things for myself pretty hard. Which is why I try to kind of, like, do both sometimes, where I'll do it for somebody else, but I'll also try to do it for me, too. You bring me joy? Aw, stop. Aw, shucks. Ooh, God, I have a cramp. Ugh. Validation seeker, I'm gonna ban you. I'm banning you from chat. I'm timing you out. Banned. You're getting banned for that comment. W. Okay, earring. I have to figure out how to, I gotta figure out how to do this part. Okay. So, earring. And there we go. Kinda got it like that. It's right there. So got one side, and I gotta do the other side because there's two. Let's make it like right there so you can kind of see it. And then yeah, there we go. Okay. Just make that side bigger. Now I have to figure out how I want to do the face. because that's actually the part I was kind of worried about, because I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do it. Because, okay, there's like a separation, so it's like this, and then the nose is like right in the middle, and then there's teeth, and then the mouth. Okay, so, and then the eyes are kind of on the side, but my face structure is a little different. Let's try some stuff out. Let me see. The outfit's gonna be easy because, like, it's like a really short, like, thing. I feel a little bad that I put this much effort into, like, Saku's, and it feels like I'm doing less by comparison. But, I mean, it's also Saku's, birthday soon, so I kind of also, like, was intending it to kind of be, like, a birthday gift also. Like a birthday gift sketch. So maybe I can be excused for that. Let me see. I need to download Procreate Dreams, actually, because I wanted to make an animation for this song in particular, Abnormality Dancing Girl. I had a couple ideas, but I wanted to, like, do something with this, like, song, but I thought about doing it in, like, After Effects while I had it, but I'm so, like, angry at Adobe right now that, like, I never want to see any of their, like, products ever on my desktop ever again. I keep meaning to download it and just start messing around with it to see, like, how it works. I assume that it's probably going to be similar to Adobe After Effects in the sense where, like, you can draw stuff in either in it, or you can draw stuff in Procreate and then create the file and then import it over and then just animate the pieces. You putting a lot of thought in it, it's enough. But yeah, like, I haven't downloaded it yet. Just, I guess because I was, like, waiting until, like, I actually had, like, I could sit down and, like, actually figure it out. But, I don't know how difficult it is to use or anything. Cake, you've used it before, haven't you? Like, to animate? Like, what's it like? Like, you've seen me use After Effects before, so what's the difference? I can show you the Way of Dreams. It's so hot in here. Somehow, I never, like... Man, have I ever looked at a bear? The timeline function is similar. It's hard to describe. Nah, I think you're just terrible at words. I think that's probably it. You're just bad at words. This is a known fact about you. So I figured that that's just what it is. Fescribe. Minor spelling error. F. Penis typo. Everybody point and laugh. If I did an official cover of Vampire, yes, but it's like you use your fingers. I think I know what you're talking about, but that still doesn't really describe it very well. Alright, I'm not reading that. Now I'm really gonna put you in timeout. Hold on. Can I time you out? Alright, you. Alright. You're lucky that I don't have Stream Manager open. If I had Stream Manager open, then I probably would have timed you out. I don't have Stream Manager open right now because my desktop's kind of occupied with stuff. And also because normally I would do it on my iPad, but since I'm using my iPad, instead, like, it's like, alright, it's kind of, I need this to be bigger, actually. Let's see. Unfortunately, I cannot be sick of this song because it is a banger, and I just really love, like, listening to bangers over and over again. Let me make this nose smaller, though. Oops. How many of you guys have watched that 3D, or like that 3D animated Scooby-Doo movie? Yeah, how many of you guys have watched that one? The one where Scooby is, like, the last living descendant of, like, Alexander the Great's, like, dog or something? And then, like, they have to stop some kind of, like, magic something from, like, coming to life or whatever. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? What? There was like a 3D animated, like, there's a 3D animated Scooby-Doo movie, and part of the plot is that Scooby is the, like, last remaining descendant of, like, Alexander the Great's, like, dog. Like, which, like, means that he's the, like, only one who can, like, perform some kind of, like, magic or something to seal the ancient magic away, to save the world, or something like that. I heard about the Scooby-Doo movie, and heard they tried to pull a cinematic universe, which didn't really work out. Yeah, I don't remember anything about that. The only reason, like, why I was asking is because I was wondering if the movie explained why Scooby could talk in that movie. Because there's kind of the thing where in most Scooby, like, stuff, they're like, well, Scooby can just talk because. There's no reason, like, given why he can talk. Which is fine, if that's, like, you know, what the argument that you want to go with. He doesn't need to, like, there doesn't need to be a specific reason why he can talk. Because it kind of, like, destroys the purpose of it. Kind of destroys the purpose, like, to, explain that. I was just curious, I guess. Because I know that there is, like, some Scooby, like, there is, like, some Scooby, like, version of it where it's like, yes, and he can talk because like he's descendant from some like Cthulhu like being or something, and he's like part eldritch being, which is why he can talk, because it makes it so that some animals could talk, because he's a descendant of like an eldritch being, like breeding with like a mortal dog. So I was just wondering like if there was like a canonical reason they gave as to like why Scooby can talk in that version. If there is none, like whatever. I guess I'm just like wondering like how many different Scooby like medias will try to invent a reason like why he can talk. There were magical elements in that one, so I wondered if like that's why I wondered if they would explain it, because if like, well, if this has like magical elements in it, it would make sense for them to be like, oh yes, and the magic is the reason why Scooby can talk. I wasn't expecting to think about him being like descendant from like the Alexander the Great's dog though. I remember the Scooby movie with hot vampire chicks. Oh, which one was that? I know the one you're talking about. Or I don't remember their names either. I just remembered that like they're on the list of like people who saw it and either had like a bi awakening or like a lesbian awakening. Also, yeah, it's you. I'm doing my best. You can probably tell that like I don't often draw bears, so I'm trying to get the proportions right. But I think I'm doing it as best as I can though. Kind of got like the V-shaped eyebrows, like almond-shaped eyebrows. What's the like tendency of like Vocaloid songs to just have like the most like fucked up like social like fucked up subject matter, but like a really banger beat. Like this song, like Raku, what's it like Raku Goku? I don't remember. It's like Easy Peasy Euthanasia. Really banger song. Really messed up like subject matter. It's like almost guaranteed that you're gonna be like jamming out to it, and then like you'll look up the like meaning and you'll be like, oh, I see. That's interesting. I can think of like at least a handful of like Vocaloid songs that kind of cover somewhat messed up subject matter. Like I think like a lot of Kikuo songs are like that. Just like, interesting. Kind of messed up. I don't even draw myself with consistent proportions. This is super cute. Yeah, same hat. I never have the same proportions every single time, especially my face. I want to say it was the first animated Scooby movie where they're on an island, or that might be the other one with the cat people. I'm gonna Google it. I feel like that might be the one with the cat people. I feel like I remember something like that. It's like an island with a volcano, and then Shaggy like turns into a weird animal of some sort. Probably makes sense for it to be cat people because dog, right? Because Scooby. But actually, I think the only Scooby movie that I remember in any kind of detail is like the live action Scooby movie, and it's purely because like of what they did to Scrappy-Doo. And I was like, that was just left such an impression on me. Like, just thinking like, man, they hated his ass. I feel like the director was like saying something about how he wanted to put in Scrappy-Doo in the movie just so you could like kill him because he hated him. Which, like, really funny if true. If he just hated Scrappy-Doo that much, he's like, I'm gonna put you in the movie just so I can like kill your ass because I hate you. Because I feel like I read like a post somewhere where apparently like the trope of like a cute like small sidekick like character was really popular at the time, so they introduced Scrappy-Doo to try and be that, but then like everybody just hated Scrappy-Doo like so much. And so like I don't know if it's like they just quietly decided to never to add him again, but yeah, like people just hated his ass so much, like because they just thought he was so annoying, including that director who just like wanted his ass dead, which again, very funny if true. I love it when movie directors like add in like characters or like have characters in the movie that basically have the sole purpose of just dying. I don't know why, that like always cracks me up because it's just so funny to think of them just being like, alright, we're gonna write you into the movie, but we're gonna like freaking kill you because I hate you. Like that's just actually so funny to me. I can't think of too many examples of it, but I mean, this is like such a dated reference. This is gonna make me sound like a vampire, but like the only example of the only other example I can think of that happening actually was in Dante's Inferno, where like Dante pretty much exclusively wrote like he put in a bunch of real life people into his like into the Inferno, and the only purpose of it is for him to be like, yeah, you suck and you're gonna go to hell because you're awful, and I'm super cool, like I'm super cool and I'm never gonna go to hell because I'm gonna like repent for my sins or whatever, and it'll mean that I'll be good and get to go to heaven and hang out with my like hot girlfriend. Which, like, okay, Dante. Let me see. Same, it happened twice with some Digimon movies where it's like, one of these Digimons will die, and of course it's the one that's introduced in that movie. I guess it doesn't really make sense from like a filmmaker's perspective to just like kill off a main character, especially in like an ongoing series. So I get it, but yeah, I still think it's really hilarious that like that they do that. They really are just like, here is your new sidekick, and their function in the movie is that they are going to fucking die. I never spilled a beat. No. Let me see. I'm like #1 culprit when it comes to like not keeping characters on model, because excuse me, I think like my my rate of like keeping characters on model is like, I don't know, like 50%, which maybe is not necessarily a bad thing, but it means that there's gonna be some inaccuracies. Can I make this like bigger but without destroying the quality? If I do this. That didn't really make it better. Whatever, I guess it can stay that size. A bit. Maybe just a bit bigger. Looked it up, and Scooby movie with the cat people is the first one, Zombie Island. The one with the hot vampire chicks is Witch's Ghost, which are both from the 2000s. Yeah, I think it's, I don't think I watched those movies as a kid, so, like, they weren't really, like, pivotal to my, like, my development as a child. They weren't, like, present to my consciousness, like, for a while. I will tell you what movies were present in my consciousness, though. everybody has like those like couple of like movies that are like their childhood movies, like the ones that they are basically like, yes, and these are the ones that I remember with like clarity, and they basically shaped like a huge part of my taste and who I am. For me, it was I think there was three. One of them was or two of them, I think I should probably say. So two of them were Sinbad and like it's like the Legend of the Seven Seas or something. It's like is it a DreamWorks movie? I think it's a DreamWorks movie. It's like a DreamWorks movie. It's like Sinbad and like the Curse of the Seven Seas or something like that. And the other one was Atlantis, like the Lost Empire, which I think that was a Disney movie. So Atlantis and Sinbad are both like basically like if you've known me for any amount of time, they're probably like the two movies that I have like forced you to watch at some point because I think those movies are bangers, and like I like just, basically I'm just like, all right, you want to get to know me? Well, then you're gonna have to watch this movie. Like you have to. It's a requirement for knowing me. The other movie that's like really important to me, and not because it's a good movie, it's not a very good movie, like it's actually pretty bad, is The Quest for Camelot, which I don't remember what studio did that, but I will tell you it is not a good movie. I think, like, the problem with the movie is that it's a fun movie, I guess, but I think the issue with it is that, like, the plot could not, like, make up its mind on what direction that it, like, wanted to take. And, like, it kind of just, yeah, like, it just kind of kept changing its mind on, like, how the tone of the movie was supposed to be. And, like, it kind of tried to do that, like, thing where it's, like, and we have, like, a strong, like, female character because she, like, rejects, like, femininity. She doesn't want to just get married. Like, she wants to, like, become a hero and save, like, all of Camelot or whatever. And, like, people keep ignoring that or blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, cool, I guess. I don't know why she couldn't, like, you know, do both. Like, if the problem was that they wanted her to get married to some person she didn't care about, why didn't they say that? Like, I will say, it's kind of like what they did with Merida in Brave, but, like, different. Instead, it's, like, an actual, like, larger threat than just, like, one bear. Because there's, like, threatening a whole kingdom. Yeah, but, again, like, I feel like the issues with that movie is just that they didn't really define they didn't really define the plot very well, and they kept, like, the plot kind of kept changing its mind on what it was supposed to be. So, by the time you got to the end of the movie, you're just like, wow, I didn't really take in, like, any of that, and I don't really know, like, what, like, lesson I'm necessarily supposed to walk away with. Oh my god, wait, Quest for Camelot. Yeah! The movie was kind of whatever for me, but did you play the PC game it was based on? I didn't. I didn't even know there was a PC game. I think I had a disc that had, like, an interactive, like, game thing on it. Because I remember having the disc. So maybe I did something like that, but nah. Like, I just remember watching that movie a lot. And, like, as a kid, I was like, oh, this is fun. But as an adult, I will acknowledge that, like, excuse me, rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, I don't really understand, like, where the plot was supposed to be going. But, okay, you know what, maybe I'll just, like, just kind of do this, like, fur detail, because the, like, sort of neckline that they have there. There you go. Yeah, that's good. It had derpy minigames, but it also had a game where you could raise a baby dragon that became an integral to my love of virtual pets. Did I play any games that had virtual pets? You know, I think I had a Neopets account, but I don't remember, like, it being super significant to, like, my life. Actually, I think the only, like, online game that was, like, super integral to my, like, growing up, I used to play a lot of Gaia Online, which is where I got my sort of, like, that I'm gonna be honest, that's totally where I developed my Chunibyo, like, sort of attitude on things, where I'm just like, oh, like, I'm just super, like, cool, and this is my super cool, like, self-insert, and he's just, like, really, like, cool, and he has, like, he has, like, the features of, like, a wolf, dragon, crow, like, all these different animals. You can turn into any animal. Like, and it purely was because Gaia Online had cool outfits, and I was just like, yeah, now I'm gonna be the anime main character. Heck yeah. I remember, though, that like, game required you to have money, though. So, like, I used to spend my allowances on, like, buying outfits in a virtual game because I wanted the cool, sexy outfits, but you couldn't get them unless you paid real, like, person money. Like, I think, I probably also had, like, an account in, like, something else, but I remember spending a lot of time on Gaia Online. I think the only other website that I spent a whole lot of time on was probably, like, you know, I don't remember what it was called, like, and it wasn't Pottermore, because I feel like Pottermore came afterwards. But when I was really into Harry Potter, there was this, like, fan website that, like, they had, which is why I said it wasn't Pottermore, because Pottermore came, like, way, way later. But I remember that there was this forum website, where you could, like, join a house and, like, make a character and, like, you know, all that good stuff. And I remember, that I used to roleplay, like, really angsty, kind of, like, really angsty plots with, like, a bunch of other people, where we were, like, the main characters, and we were, like, super cool, and we would fight, like, I don't know, like, Dementors, or just, like, what the hell were they called? Death Eaters, I think? What a stupid name. Were they actually called Death Eaters? Am I remembering that right? How come I'm only, like, thinking now, like, how dumbass that name was? Like, what the hell? What does that have to do with anything? Suddenly thinking back to something from your, like, childhood and realizing, like, wow, that sounded pretty stupid, actually. Death Eaters is such a stupid name. Oh my god. Wait, how did anybody take them seriously? That's actually such a dumb name. Hold on, that can't be right. I have to Google this. They were really called Death Eaters? Oh my god, that's so stupid. I can't believe that's real. How was I into Harry Potter, like, that long, and I'm only now realizing how stupid that name sounds. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Actually, Pal, while you're here, your claws, they don't retract, do they? Because it's like you're like a sun bear, so they don't retract, they're always out. I've been Hey, Saku! I was just talking about, like, when you're young and you're formulating your interests, and, like, how, as a kid, I used to roleplay Harry Potter, like, Harry Potter original OCs on, like, this one Harry Potter forum, like, before Pottermore was a thing, because that came later. Yeah, they're always out, but I'm inconsistent with drawing them. Yeah, because I figure that's more, like, accurate to Sunburst. By lurking, as in I've been playing... You're playing that gosh darn MMO again. You know, I'm like afraid of getting into an MMO because I'm just like, I don't think I've ever gotten super into a game to the point where, like, I just ignored, like, real life. I don't think it's ever gotten to that point. But I'm afraid that I will find a game that will make me do that. Like, I'm afraid of a game that has the capacity to just make me do that. I've never really had the issue with gacha games, at least. Like, whenever I have no trouble with gacha games, like, just, you know, like, if I spend money on it and then it doesn't pay off, I'm just like, alright, whatever. You know, like, I don't feel driven to keep spending money on it. So, that's never been a problem for me. I don't know what it'd be like for MMOs, though. Like, because I do have the tendency to just kind of, like, binge games for, like, hours. Just ignoring, like, you know, like, stuff like eating or whatever. Not entirely. Like, I will still stop and, like, eat or take care of stuff I need to. But I guess, like, I'm just like, okay, but what if I, like, get into some MMO or something and I just, like, get so into it to the point that I'm just, like, I cannot function anymore. All I think about is, like, playing the MMO. Then again, like, the only thing saving me from that right now is just I don't have a computer that could run an MMO, I think. I think if I tried, it would just explode. Good old Mac. Gotta love that. I mean, how many hours did you spend on Final Fantasy, Saku? You want to share with the class? You want to share your hours with the class, Saku? It's kind of weird to see, like, only, 2, like, fingers. Or 4, I mean. I feel like I want to make these smaller. You know, Sako, I was saying earlier that, like, I felt a little bad because I felt like I spent a lot of effort on, like, your portrait, and, like, I felt like I wasn't, like, the one I was doing for POW wasn't nearly as, like, detailed. Although in my head I was like, well, I put some extra effort into yours just because, like, I wanted, like, it to also be, like, a B-Day, like, gift art thing. But then I was like, no, but now but turns out it's, like, POW's, like, birthday soon, too. I guess it's also maybe the design, too. The design was kind of, like, more intricate. Alright, how does this... It's, like this. And then... Okay. I see. Bye bye baby, bye my life. I remember when I suggested, like, that the Leaf Tent do, like, a Leaf Tent cover of a song. I just thought that that would be something cute, like, to do as, like, a joint cover project thing. Although I do acknowledge that, like, not everybody would be up for singing. I still think that it'd be a fun idea to do, though, if we could organize it and get it together. I'm not sure what song it would be, but just, like, presumably maybe, like, an EN song, because it seems like the most common language. Although maybe we could even, like, have, like, a song that has, like, mixed lyrics, although I can't really think of any songs like that off the top of my head. My design is also just simple by default, so no worries about anything, about more or less effort in any case. No good skinning skills, no equipment. I'd be down for a group cover. Yeah, like, I just think that, like, a group cover would be really fun. Especially, like, considering that, like, I guess because, like, I feel like the Leaf Tent kind of got together as a result of, like, well, specifically Vesper, but also the fact that, like, it's kind of, like, we're, like, a hollow group, and they're, like, an idol group, and because a lot of us have been doing streaming lately. It's understandable if, like, some people are, like, not okay with that. like, or don't want to participate, but like, and I don't think it would work unless we had like enough people involved, and also like, because I don't know anything about audio editing, so like I would need to like, you know, find somebody who knows how to audio edit, because I sure don't know how. But, and I don't know what song we would sing, like that's still up for debate, but it's just an idea. Probably work on like organizing other collabs first though, like, or get used to that. I was trying to get a group together so that we could play like Splatoon, but I don't know how many people play like Splatoon, although like I think Stacy and Nita said that like they play Splatoon. But yeah, like just I think I was just wanted to get some people together so we could collab, like play Splatoon. Doesn't matter if I'm the only one streaming. I just needed people to play with, I think. I know Stacey was down for Splatoon. Yeah, I was gonna say Shinigami because besties, but I feel like that one's deceptively hard. Hello everyone, I have anxiety. Hey! You're gonna do your debut soon, right? Like, oh shit, it's like 20 minutes. At least from like what I saw. Yep. Don't be nervous. You'll do great. I told everybody on my Twitter that like they should go check you out and to be nice. Honestly, like I was nervous the first time I was like gonna do a stream too. The one thing that saved me was just the fact that I was like playing a game that I like a lot, and therefore like I was a little less nervous than I could have been. Because I think I was playing Pokemon that first stream I did. You got this. Just, you know, just show up and just like be like, hey, like this is who I am and I'm just here to hang out. It's okay if it's not perfect. I can't think of a single like for example, I can't think of a single VTuber who, like, doesn't look back at their debut and is like, ooh, cringe. Like, it doesn't matter if you're, like, nervous or anything. Like, as long as you do it, and that's what matters. Let me see. God, it's so hot in here. Ooh! I'm gonna take this and then put it on a different layer. Oops. I'm gonna erase this for now. And then let's put some color here. I just went live. I never had a debut. Yeah, like, neither did I. I pretty much just basically my first stream was just like, hey, let's play Pokemon, you know. I thought about having a debut, but then again, like, I felt like there was like a lot of stuff that I would want to do for it that like it would probably like delay me even further, and I already put it off. Like, I felt like I'd already put it off for a long time because I kept like upping the ante of stuff I had. Like, not only did I also like have to prepare a model, but then I was like, oh, but then I want to create like a start screen, and then I wanted to create like I decided I wanted to create like a BRB screen. Then I had to look for music. Then I like at some point I was like, oh, but I want an ending screen. Like, but I feel like if I had done an official debut, then I probably would have put it off like even longer. But I think it might be good to do. Say my first stream was art, and I want it to be low stakes with wiggle room and mistakes and such. I did have more stuff planned, but 46 work weeks said, haha, no. Yeah. Do be like that. I know I have to start picking up more hours at, like, my secondary job, because my first job is not going to be running during winter, because I work at school, work at a school, because there's no, like, school, during winter break. I have to figure that out. Also, I have to pick up more hours at my other work, because I still have to pay for schooling. And because, like, my car has decided that it's going to shit itself, and I now have to pay, like, $3,000 to get it fixed. Which is, yippee, love having a car. Totally worth it. Love having something that costs me, like, thousands on the regular. Absolutely atrocious. Hopefully that'll be, like, it for a while, though. I mean, the fact that I own a hybrid car definitely means that, like, fixing it whenever there's something wrong is going to be really expensive. And I have been thinking, like, is it really worth, like, you know, saving on gas mileage if this is what's gonna happen? But, you know, it is what it is, and I just have to focus on paying for it. Spit there. Oh, it's so hot. It's like 1,000 degrees in here. Could use a shower after this. Why couldn't have stayed cold? It was cold. It was perfectly cold last week, and then now this is happening. Where it's like gone back to being like 80 degrees. Like, thanks. I thought we were done with that. I thought we'd left that character arc, but apparently not. I'm always worried that the fan's gonna get picked up on the microphone. It's all rainy. Oh shit, with your break, my mom and aunt will be here. My stream room is right next to them. They're gonna be so loud. Yeah, I always worry about, like people hearing background noise from my microphone because... Oh, excuse me. I don't have one of those little boxes that you put around your microphone that reduces sound. I guess I could get one, but I just don't know where I would put it because my desk is actually pretty small. I just don't think that there's, like, anywhere on my desk that I could put, like, something large like that. I would have to take something off or move stuff around. I don't know, either of the pop filters. Yeah. Like, the only reason it's an issue for me is because I live, like, the place I live, the neighbors are quite loud. A lot. And, so I have to, if I don't close my windows, you can hear them all the time. Also, like, because the street is right next to my house, you can always hear, like, cars and buses driving past. And that's very loud and disruptive. Also, I have a dog who never shuts up. He's very loud, so he'll bark sometimes. And also just because I need to close my door. Because, like, if I don't close my door, then my mom will just burst into my room and just immediately start talking to me. And I just am worried that she's just gonna say something like, I don't know, she's gonna, like, say my credit card information out loud or something. That's a joke, but you know what I mean. Like, she's just gonna start, like, talking about personal information or something, like, because I'll tell her I'm streaming, but then if the door's open, she's like, it's free real estate. Okay. Let's do a mask color. Hopefully I can finish this up quickly. Yeah, cars that speed. For me, it's specifically... Life hack for a pop filter is like a sock. It's not like a pop filter, actually. It's kind of like... Okay, it's the thing that you put around your microphone to block out outside noise. Like, it's like a little, like, foam box. I really should, because when I return home, I'm on the main road. Yeah, like, my door doesn't actually have a closed hinge. Light push is all it takes. Oh, I see. My chair is very loud. I have this, like, wooden thing that my chair is on, and it's so loud. It, like, creaks, and, like, whenever I move my chair, it's very loud. My door does have a lock on it. But again, like, closing the door itself just makes it really hot in here. Let me see. I gotta get color. Let me get this, like, let me get this. do this part first, because I need to shade it. But yeah, like, I've thought about buying one from Amazon, just that little, like, sound box to, like, help isolate sounds a little better, so that it's not always, like, so loud. Just, like, keep putting it off, I guess. And also because, like I said, I just don't know where I'd put it. I feel like there's just no space on my desk to put it. So even if I did buy one, it's just like, alright, where am I gonna put it? There's, like, no space here. But hopefully it's, like, it's not too distracting of a noise. I've never had anybody complain that, like, it's too distracting, but then again, you know, like, you always strive to make your streams, like, better quality. And I feel like the quality would be better if there just wasn't so much background noise all the time. Same thing with, like, just deciding, like, what's the best setup for, like, doing different things. I moved my microphone away a little bit, so that, like, I would stop knocking the microphone, because last time when I was streaming, I kept knocking the microphone with my pen, so it's a little bit further away now, although my desk is still pretty cluttered. And I also, I guess I'll find out later, but, like, I'm gonna have to find out later if the microphone can still pick up my pen taps, because last time I noticed that I could hear the tapping from my pen, like, a lot in the like the stream, which I was like, oh, oops, like, I did not notice. I guess I didn't think they were that loud, but maybe because of the way that I angled the microphone or something, like, made it more noticeable. I just realized, I hope I don't lag so aggressively on YouTube. I'm streaming on both Twitch and there. Yeah, like, I think with, one of the things that I want to, like, improve on is I want to get a better streaming computer, because the one that I'm streaming from right now is a laptop, which is why it, like, the quality is not very good. Like, you'll notice, that my stream quality is not very good. I think it's more obvious when you look at my avatar. My avatar looks kind of crispy. Like, that's really just because, unfortunately, I cannot stream at a very high, like, bitrate. Because my upload speed's very poor, because not only am I on a laptop, but I'm also on Wi-Fi. It's just how it has to be. Like, there's just no other, like, alternative, really. Like, the internet cable is downstairs. I can't stream downstairs, because that's where family is. So I just kind of have to learn to deal with it. It's not that bad. Like, I wouldn't say that, like, it's, like, ruining the experience or anything, since you can still hear me alright. It's just one of those things that I kind of wish that I could do something about that. But I just, as of right now, I just don't think there's a feasible solution to it. Oh, stuff like that wouldn't personally bother me. The pen taps, that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured that, like, it could sound nice, like, to hear, like, occasionally. But I guess, like, I just thought they were very loud last time. And I didn't notice that they were there. Let's see. That's better. I think if we did, like, do a cover, it might make, like I said, it might make sense to do a, like, EN cover. Just because, like, ideally, that would probably be, like, the one thing that definitely, like, all of us know to do. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Because, like, EN is definitely, like, probably the language that we all share in common, so it might make sense just to have that be, like, the common language that we all do. But let me see something here. But like I said, I think it's up for debate, and like it could we could definitely like see like what everybody's like thoughts on it are, and like if we're gonna like vote on it maybe. I think that's nice. Let's do that. I wouldn't be opposed to learning a Japanese song. I just I don't know what Japanese song like everybody could learn. Oops. Let me see. I think I'm almost finished with this, which is good because Ranger will be streaming soon. I don't want to take up too much time. I was planning on like redirecting straight there. Let me just finish the coloration here. My first thought was to do Top of the World since we're all linked together through Tempest, but it also might be too painful of a song. Maybe an Ian song that one of the boys has covered. I guess like I don't know if it has to be topical or if it's just something that we all choose to do. I don't know what Ian songs that the others have done. Like I can only think of Monster actually right now. I'm sure there are others, but that's the only one that's coming to mind. I think like there would probably be like a couple of different options, like of various skill levels, and then because it'd be nice to have a song that maybe has multiple parts, just because maybe like if somebody wants to join but they're not super confident in their ability to sing, they can take a part that's like a little bit less complicated. I think the only thing is that I don't actually know too much about music, so I wouldn't be able to judge like the difficulty of a song just based on listening to it. Like I'd have to speak to somebody who knows songs really well. I would definitely have to find somebody who'd be willing to mix the song because I don't know how to do that. When I mixed the cover that I did of I Love You by Billie Eilish, like it definitely didn't sound the best, but that's also because like I did it in like I don't remember, it was like in I think I did a combination of like GarageBand and iMovie. Very professional mix job, if I do say so myself. For mixing, we are not singing Baby Got Back. Shut up. For mixing, I know a few people on Twitter who do commissions for mixing and everything. Yeah, I think like I would probably just like commission somebody to be able to like mix it, just basically be like, here's the audio samples and like can you make it sound like good? But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just like for me, I think, is I want to decide on like what kind of song we would sing. I want it to be like easy enough that like most people are encouraged to participate, but maybe has different like levels of skill depending on which part of the song. Just because like then it kind of gives people like more options of just like, oh, like I'm not super confident, so maybe I'll take this like part of the song that's a bit easier. I think the only songs, like the only Ian songs I can think of that I remember the boys covering was like Monster. Besides the original songs. Ideally, I think it would be a song that kind of is sort of like on top of the world. Like something that kind of like ties us all together. And is kind of upbeat. But also the only song I can think of like that are like songs for musicals, actually. What if we all sing Flex? Oh, Somebody's have to do the rap bit. I think, I also wasn't sure if I wanted it to specifically be a Tempest song, or if, like, I wanted it to just be, like, Tempest, like, about Tempest, but not necessarily, like, a Tempest song. Oops. Yeah, the only, like, song that I could think of that might be, like, somewhat entry-level is, like, actually, like, musical songs. Reason for that being that, a lot of musical songs are, like, based more around talking. So, like, the lyrics are, like, you can get away with kind of, like, speaking the lyrics so much more so than you're singing. That's not to say that they're all universally like that. But I just think maybe, like, a musical song might be good, too. You'll be back. Oh shit, gotta go. Yes. I will leave your raids open. I'm gonna, like, raid into you after this with whoever is here. Yeah, like, I think a musical song could be fun, too. I would just have to pick a musical song. Plus, I don't know, like, I don't know how many musical songs people are, like, familiar with, besides the more common ones. Let me figure out rating. It's like a setting, I think. If anybody, like, has any, like, information on that. Like, on how to, like, change your rating settings to make sure. I think it's, like, you have to go into your Twitch settings. You know, I remember messing with my raid settings, like, initially when I was, like, setting up, like, my Twitch account and everything for streaming, but, like, I definitely cannot remember, like, what it was like and how to do it. Just because, like, I think that was, like, kind of a while ago, and I probably just set the raid settings to whatever and then just, like, didn't think about it after that. Maybe leave it at that. Okay. Maybe tone down this part a little bit more. Let me see. And then the nose. I gotta turn down the opacity a little bit so I can actually see. Oh, it's hot in here. Gotta air out this, air out the room, like, after this. Oops. Let's see. Let's do that. Feels good to be drawing again. I feel like I've been putting it off for, like, kind of a while just because I've been kind of busy. So it's nice to be able to, like, get back into it. After a period where, like, I kind of was like, oh, I don't have time. I kind of have, like, other stuff I need to be doing. What I might do, like, Tuesday. Maybe I'll actually play a game on Tuesday. Like, play, get back to my Nuzlocke, maybe. Or, like, I said I was gonna play Mad Father for Halloween. That kind of never happened. Maybe I might still do that. Just because I said I was gonna, and I do have the game. I do kind of miss playing, like, RPG games. You know what game I wanted to play on stream? I wanted to play Off on stream. Because I think more people should appreciate Off, because it's a good game. But, like, I think, like, I would have to figure out if I can run Off on my, computer. Because I don't think I played Off on a Mac. I'm pretty sure I played it on, like, like a Windows computer at school, so I don't even know if off will like run on my computer, because I guess I've never tried it for Mac. I can't imagine that they would lock something like that off, but I guess like it just would be good to check, just to make sure that like I don't say that I'm gonna play it, then it's like, oh, you can't run it on Mac, sorry. But like, because I think Off is a really, really good game, but I don't know how many people have actually like played it versus like people who've only like heard of it, because I think almost like everyone has heard of Off. It's kind of impossible not to, not when like the Off fandom is pretty loud about like appreciating the game. But I don't know how many people have actually like played it themselves, or I guess like made the effort to like, you know, like go through the game themselves. Because I think Off kind of did the that sounds familiar. Is it an RPG maker game that's the same as The Witch's House and the like? Yes. So Off is an RPG game made by an indie creator called Mortis Ghost. And if you've ever seen like there's like two memorable figures from it. There's the Batter, who you play as, and then there's, I think Zachary is the other really popular character. Let me see. If you've ever seen where is he? This guy. Like, that's the Batter whom you play as, and then this is like Zachary, who's like this sort of designated like merchant character in the game. I think those are the two most common like characters that you'll see from the game, like floating around. But so like the thing about that game is that like it kind of did the thing that Undertale and like One Shot did, where they kind of did like a sort of fourth wall breaky type of thing, where it's like, yes, and like your actions as a player like will affect like the game and such. I will say that I think that Undertale and One Shot did it better, but I think that Off was kind of like the first game to do something like that, where they're like, yes, like your actions in this game will have consequences, and like it's not the main character who gets held accountable for them. It's like it's the player. Like specifically the game like goes out of its way to like point the finger at you and say like, yes, like you are responsible for your own actions and for the actions in this game, and like you are simply like the one controlling like the Batter. And so like it's not entirely like on him for like the things that you do in the game. Like part of it is like having to like accept that like, yes, I'm the one who like made this decision, who chose to do this. Again, I think that One Shot and Undertale did it better, but I do think that like it, quoting like somebody who reviewed the game before, you don't really have to be the best at something when you're the first to do something. I would call it like the precursor to games like Undertale and One Shot, in terms of like the themes that they tackled in the game. But again, I think it's a really good game, and if I play it on stream and it convinces people to play it, then that's like good enough for me, because I just think that more people should play the game and like appreciate it. Especially because I feel like we're getting to a point now where people are starting to kind of like not remember the game as much. There's a couple of big YouTubers who used to play it. Like, I know Minx played it. And like, I know probably Manly Badass, just because he kind of plays a lot of those sort of like RPG games. Markiplier played it at some point, which I think is kind of what gave it its big popularity, because everybody like kind of had eyes on Markiplier at the time. But yeah, like I definitely think it's a game worth checking out. It's the one criticism, or some of the criticism I have for the game is The combat system is pretty clunky. I think that it's pretty easy to get pretty annoyed with the combat system because it's very like repetitive and not very interesting. I still think it's a game worth playing, like even in spite of the combat system. Like if you can put up with it for a bit, like for as long as the game lasts, it's definitely like worth getting past that point. I think the only other thing about the game is that, because the game was originally in French, because Mordiscos is a French creator, I'm not sure if they ever fix like some of the weird stuff that there is with like certain translations that aren't really like true to like the final product. But it doesn't really affect the game that much, so to speak. So I still think like you could probably get the gist of the game, in like spite of that. I'm just realizing I have to like fix all this like shading mistakes that I made. Let me see. Let's get this, I think I'm just about done here. Yeah. I think that's pretty much everything on it. I don't think there's anything more to fix for it. Okay, let me do that and then turn you on. And then just using this as like a template, but let me actually get out the actual brush I wanted to use. Turn you down a bit. Yeah, if you have like a, I remember one of your streams, like, I think we talked about it, or like you were talking about it in chat because somebody asked. Did you ever come up with a fan art tag for Twitter? Or like, was that still something that you were like considering? Yeah, it's the Bing cart. Just my oh with the art at the end. It's really funny to me. Have you ever noticed that there's a tendency amongst like VTubers where like their art tags will always be something like it'll either always be something like, oh, like something that's like kind of creative sounding, like Flayon's crayons, like, or like Flayon's crayons, or like oh, like Bettelful, or some kind of pun like on their name. And then other times it's like just like their name or a shortened version of their name with with the art tag on the end. Like, I think both Vesper and Shinri had that, where like Shinri's is just like, what is it? It's like just Suiji art, and then like, no, excuse me, and then Vesper's just Vesp art. Like, I just think it's really funny how like there's such a dichotomy between like people who are just like, ah yes, like, and my, obviously my art tag is a pun on like magnum opus, or like Bettelful, like beautiful, and then other times it's just like, yeah, just art at the end of the name. I think that's very funny. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, I just like find it really hilarious whenever that happens, especially like when it's within the same group and you kind of see the dichotomy of it. Like, Gold Bullets tags are very basic, but it works. Yeah, I guess that's all you can really hope for. Like, if it works, and there's no point in, like, complicating matters. I just think it's, like, really funny to see. Like, ah, yes. Here you have, like, my fellow VTubers, like, creative art tags, and then, like, you have, like, my name and art at the end. Let me see. I think that looks good. Alright, make it concise. Let's, like, choose a background color. I reset the background color to something, like, neutral after I did Saku's, but let's see, just something. I think that's good. I think this like kind of helps it stand out a bit more. Okay. Close this, and then I will. Do we need to turn off Saku's there just in case? There's like no clipping there. And Petal was just like, wait, let me see. My creamy, you got it. Your fan art tag is gonna be creamy arts? No! You cannot, no. You gotta change that. Do you remember when Maggie suggested Gavinki or something for Bettel's new art tag right after he changed it to Bettelful? Also very cute Sunder. And Bettel was like, fuck! It's kind of like, man, it's funny that, like, Vesper, like, a part of Vesper's, like, legacy, like, lives on in the better, like, what is it, like, Bettel call Saul? Art tag? Or not art tag, like, bead tag? That's very funny. Beta chocolate decoration. Why? I'm refused. Like, you cannot make it creamy art. Shut up. That doesn't have anything to do with your, like... Alright. Anyways, I finished that up. So here we have, here's art, like, 2 that we've done so far. And here's another one that we're going to do. Nobody tattle on me to Momo. I'll have that sketch that we can do next time. Next week, I think next week, I mean, it's more like this week, I guess, actually. I think this coming week, I may or may not just do another art stream. I don't know, it depends. Depends on how busy. I know that for sure I'm gonna try to do something on Tuesday, even if it's short. May play a game. I might get back up to my Nuzlocke. That might be something I do. I think it's just because I don't have the time to edit videos, so I haven't really been doing any games. But we'll see what I feel up to on Tuesday. That's gonna be my last week of school and also work, but that means I just have to do my other job. But if I'm gonna do more work at my other job, that means I have to change my stream hours. So I have to figure that out. Also, I have a lot of work that I need to do. Just from projects that I'm working on, and also to a couple of other things. Like, I need to figure out that Splatoon collab, and then I also need to get to work on the Secret Santa that we're doing for the Leaf Tent. But we'll see. I will post this to Twitter, and I'm gonna need your guys' help to figure out how to raid into Ranger. Because I know how to do it in theory, but I don't think I actually know how to do it. So, we have to figure that one out together. Look at my laptop's like trying to die. But yeah, nobody tell Moa. I'm gonna do this. Nobody tell Moa. Let's see. Do you have a Twitch stream manager? let me open it up actually, because I didn't have it open. Because normally I have it open on my iPad. But because I'm using my iPad obviously, so I will just open it. I will just open it on my computer. Oops. You can see that I accidentally pressed my toggle. Let me see. No, how do I go to... I want to go to Stream Manager. Twitch Stream Manager. How do I do that? do it by clicking in a video video. Oh, that's what. Okay, I thought so, but I didn't realize it was called something else. Okay. So yes. And then what? So I'm in this now. And then for me it's the purple icon with the parachute. Let me see. Stream manager. And then, oh, I see it. Okay. Let me see. So I have to go find, Rangers, I have to go find Rangers thing. Where is it? Okay, I see, thank you. Let's see, raid channel. Pick a channel to raid. Let's see. Nomi. There we go. And then, yeah, so we're gonna raid into Nomi. So I have that set up. Alright, but thank you everybody for coming. I'm gonna send you guys over to Nomi. And be nice for me and tell them that their model looks really sexy. And thank you and good night, everybody. Now, if my computer could get its like shit together. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, it's chugging. Come on. My OBS is trying to crash. Alright. Okay. I just want to get to the ending screen. Come on! Okay, you know what? I'm gonna close this actually first. God, thank God. Okay. Alright, let me send you over to Nomi. Give me a second.